Hey buddy Crow back again, and this is going to be a quick look at the most recent table pack that was released for the AtGames Legends Pinball. This is going to be a look at the Taito Pinball Pack Volume 2. If you remember, a few months ago there was a Volume 1, and recently Volume 2 came out. There's going to be 2 more volumes after this, a 3 and a 4. These table packs have been going for $24.99. It averages out to about $6 and some cents for each table. And now I've already made some videos where I've played each of the tables, and I will be making those videos and I'll be posting them later. But right now we're just going to take a quick look at all the tables that you're going to get in here. Now this is on the AtGames Legends Pinball. These tables will be available on the other Legends devices as well. When Table Pack 1 came out, I was under the assumption they all came out at the same time, but it was like a little bit after, like a week after they came out for other Legends devices. I don't know if that's the case or not for these as well. So I don't want to misspeak like I did last time. But yeah, we got the AtGames Legends Pinball up here. Let me see if I can change my view here. All right, I was planning on doing a picture-in-picture thing here, but apparently I had to turn the lights off so the camera could get a good look at the table here. So you don't get to see my face on screen. While I point out that the tables in this pack were based on Chack'n Pop, Elevator Action, Operation Wolf, and Zookeeper. So if you remember, and I do like how you can filter out these table packs separately, but just as a refresher, in our first table pack here, we had Darius, Frontline, Roston Saga, and Space Invaders. Now, if you remember, these 3 up here, these were based on EM tables or solid state tables. Really, they were really based on early solid state tables, but with the score reel that looked like it was a roll, like a wheel, like you would see in an EM table. But the rest of the tables, it screamed, like with the sound effects and everything, screamed early solid state with sound effects from the game. But the Space Invaders table was completely different in that it was more of a video game, really. Something you couldn't do in real life, where the invaders came down from the top of the screen and you had to hit them with the ball, get the power-ups and everything. And this table pack is a bit of deja vu, because in this case, Chack'n Pop, Elevator Action, and Zookeeper are those early solid state, late EM / tables, really solid state with the rollovers. Same exact kind of design and everything as those other 3 tables. And Operation Wolf is pretty much exactly the same thing as the Space Invaders table, where you've got the soldiers coming down on the play field. And you'll see some footage of these tables as I talk about them, because I've already played and filmed some of the stuff, so I'll insert some of that footage here. But we'll just go through them one at a time, and I'll kind of point out some stuff. We'll start with a Chack'n Pop, or Chack'n Pop, as the game announced and reminded me how it was properly pronounced. I am not familiar with the Chack'n Pop game at all, so I really don't know what the game is like. I may have to check that out now, because it's not really ringing any bells, and it should, because I'm probably played it before. But this game, you've got... this game was really fun to play. You do have this, really this is a spinner game where you shoot spinners a lot. You've got this spinner, which is, when it's lit, it's worth 1,000 points per spin. You've got this spinner up here, which I thought was, yeah, it is actually based on this score here. You can get this up to 5,000 points a spin. And then you've got this spinner over here, which you can get up to 1,000 points per spin. And it's easier to get these maxed out than it is that one. But yeah, this is a table where you do have a lot of stuff to shoot for. You've got the pop bumper array in the middle here. You've got these drop-down targets, and you've got the third flipper up here to go for these drop-down targets, which do increase the score of, I believe it was advanced spinner score when all lit. It doesn't really point out which spinner. I think it's this spinner. I could be wrong. I don't really remember now. But this was the first one I played, and I did have a good time playing it. The background music that you can kind of hear right now, good times. It's fun table. And of course, like these tables were made by Magic Pixel, the makers of the Zaccaria tables as well. So you do have the morning lighting, you do have the afternoon lighting, and you do have the night lighting, and that goes for the back box as well. So yeah, that's Chack'n Pop. Again, I will be posting a video of just the gameplay, and I probably did insert some gameplay of this in this video as well. Again, this is just the first look. We'll get into a little bit more detail when I play the tables in a future video. Let's move on to our next table. All right, our next table here is themed after Elevator Action, very popular game. Again, the artwork, not based off the arcade graphics, it's really based off of the cabinet art, and all the Taito tables have been that way so far. No actual sprite graphics from the games in these, but you know what? It works very well. It makes the tables a little bit more colorful, I think. And again, we have our morning, afternoon, and night lighting. This table looking particularly dark in night lighting. But again, let's point out some of the features here. You've got this row of standing targets here, spelling action. Now, spelling action will light this yellow special here. And I presume if you do it again without hitting that whole right, like the red special, they'll be worth a lot more points. But I wasn't actually able to do it in the time that I played the table. So it's probably in the rules as well. I didn't read the rules again, but again, who reads the rules before jumping into pinball? I mean, it's something after I play a while, I may refer to the rules and maybe learn a little bit more. But again, this is more of a table where you're kind of going after those action letters. You've got the pop-up or ask right here. You've got a really cool shot where you kind of go through here and hit the standing target over here. I think that's pretty cool. The spinner, now, when I initially started playing, I thought that these points were spinner point values, or maybe if you spun the spinner like a whole bunch of times, it increased the point value. But that's not the case. This is just the score, the bonus when you drain the ball, then that's your bonus. You also get like a couple of bonus ball points. I don't know, maybe you get extra balls, bonus balls as extra. I didn't quite figure this out because you've got two lights here with double bonus. Does that mean you get double bonus and then quadruple bonus? I don't know, just never really figured that out. We've got our drop targets. The drop targets here, not drop targets, these are rollovers. They're what actually increase your bonus. And I guess at the top here, if the light is lit when you roll it over, it goes up 2, but only 1 if it's not. And you've also got the in lanes here, which will also advance this bonus, but only if they are lit and only once. If they're not lit, you don't get nothing. More straightforward table. I think out of all the tables, this might be my third favorite of the bunch. Chack'n Pop, I didn't mention it, but that is actually my second favorite. I don't think I have much more to add. Oh, you know what I do want to mention is that I think out of all the tables, the background music is my favorite. It's not the music you're hearing now, it's the music during the game. Maybe I'll insert some of that. In between tables, some gameplay, you'll hear some of the music. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Number 1 in music for this table pack. Let's move on to our next table. All right, next table here is Zookeeper, and this is the table I was most looking forward to playing. And it's primarily because Zookeeper is my favorite Taito game in arcades. It's actually my second favorite arcade game, period. But before we get into this table, there we go. There's afternoon lighting. There's our night lighting. And back to morning. And again, this kind of lines up with how I feel about Zookeeper in the arcades. This is my favorite of all the Taito tables so far. Maybe excluding the Space Invaders and Operation Wolf, which I purposely skipped over and saved till last, and you'll see why. But yeah, out of the tables that are like this is my favorite. And it's primarily because we've got two mechanics here that I like that are similar. Really the feature of this table is these drop-down targets. So you got a row of drop-down targets here and a line of drop-down targets here. With the row, they start out at 10,000 points each. You hit it, that one down the row, you hit the target, they reset, and they're worth 50,000. You do it again, they reset, they're worth 100,000 points. And over here, it's the same deal, except they're in a line. Get them all once, they're worth 1,000 points each. Get them all twice, they're 10,000 points each. And get them all a third time, and they are 100,000 points each. Not the same point value again, but if you lose the ball, all that resets. The only downside is that they're really close to the playfield. So you may kind of have if you're going for this, you might have a tendency to ignore the rest of the playfield. But again, hitting these targets so close to the flippers may lead you to draining the ball. I know, especially over here, I would kind of misjudge which flipper it would be going to. Hit the wrong flipper and the ball would just drain. So it's something you got to get used to. You got to have fast reflexes to figure out where each one is going. And we got our array of 3 pop bumpers over here. We've got this unusual hole over here, which will eject back out, but that's worth quite a bit of points either way. It's either worth 50,000 points or 100,000 points, and it's not really too difficult to sink it in there. I think that with the appropriate shot, you could kind of hit it up in here and around and sink it in there. It doesn't really work in practice, though. It'll more likely go in just bouncing off the pop bumpers. And then we've got our rollovers at the top there, which I've kind of ignored, and I just hit a button while I was leaning in there. But yeah, good music as well. I really, really enjoyed this one. This is one I'll definitely be coming back to again and again. And it's saying something, seeing as how there's over 100 some tables in this thing now. So let's move on to our next one. And there you go. That is Operation Wolf, a game that I played, and it's not one of my favorite games, but I don't really hate it either. Again, good music in the background. Kind of got that somber war tune in the background. Totally 80s. All the tunes have been totally 80s in this pack, and it's fantastic. But again, this plays like the zombie invasion in Taito Pinball and the Space Invader table in the Taito Pinball Pack Volume 1, where the soldiers will come down from the field and they will try to attack your bases, represented here by the guns. Every wave that goes by, you get a different variety of home bases, and you just have to keep playing. You've got the multi-ball. If you shoot the spinner a certain number of times, multi-ball shows up. And thank you for reminding me for leaning into there and showing you different modes here. So you got the multi-ball, and if you hit it over here, you got the lightning strike that'll take damage to all the... I keep on calling them zombies, because that's the original game, was zombie invasion, but soldiers in this case. Hitting this spot will just automatically decrease all the soldiers on the field, half health. Hitting these targets up here will missiles that I think I'll attack one zombie and do splash damage. The ramps will freeze all the enemies. You've got the time there. You've got the bullets to reload these guys at the bottom there. There's only one guy. I thought there were 2. Maybe I was mistaken. I thought there were 2, and one time I was like, oh, did that guy die? No, I guess there's only one guy in this table. Again, guns just to help them reload, because they will run out of ammo. And somewhere on this table, there's a way to activate a tornado, and I didn't really remember exactly what that was. You have an extra flipper up here, and I think by this point I'll show some footage of what this game actually looks like, because you do have to see this game in action to kind of understand what's going on. But you do have the DMD up at the top, kind of more of a modern table. That's what makes this different than totally different from the other 3 tables. Now, I presume that the other 2 table packs are going to kind of follow suit, where we're going to get 3 tables out of the 4 that are more like early solid state tables with rollovers, like not rollovers, but the spinner, the wheels, the score wheels. That's what I'm trying to think of. Score wheels like you would have in an EM table, except they don't really look like score wheels. They always look like... It just looks like numbers on a white background. That's something that could use a little touching up if they really did intend to make them look like score wheels, like an EM table. Either that, or just make them look like an LED display with just segmented LEDs, like early 80s solid state tables had. I know that for the Zaccaria tables that were EMs, they have to make those look like rollovers. But for these, they could probably get away with a segmented LED score display. And I realize I'm talking a lot about all the tables that have nothing to do with this table, but I'm sure by this point you got a pretty good sense of what this game looks like in action. So that's our 4th and final table. We're just taking a quick look at. Let's go back to our main menu. You know, it's funny, as I decided to go to the main menu, and I did, and I was like, well, that's not very interesting to end the video on. So I left it, I went back and left it on Operation Wolf just for the end of this video here. I personally liked all of these tables. I thought it was worth the $24.99. Now, again, if it was just, if these tables were in Zaccaria Pinball, they would probably cost less. But then again, there's probably some licensing issues, not issues, but costs associated with Taito And also, you know, AtGames, the profits are being split between AtGames and Magic Pixel. Those three things right there are probably what are making these cost just a little bit more. Well, not a little bit more. They're actually being like, they're costing like a little bit more than double what they would have cost in Zaccaria Pinball. I think the most expensive tables in Zaccaria Pinball are $2.99. And here, they are, if you're dividing them out to $25 divided by 4, it's like over $6 each. But then again, you're getting them in this, and it's exclusive. You're getting Taito themes. And again, I could completely understand if you're not into the whole early like solid state table design, or the, you know, just the simplistic gameplay. You're not going to get jackpots. You're not going to get multi-ball. It's really straightforward, and if that's not your thing, you're not going to enjoy this table pack at all. But if you do enjoy, you know, playing a solid state table, something simpler, you know, straightforward scoring, these tables will be for you. And if you're into that kind of thing, I highly recommend the table packs, the Taito table packs at any rate. Again, you got the Zaccaria tables. If you enjoy the solid state tables in Zaccaria Pinball, or the EM tables in Zaccaria Pinball, you're going to enjoy these tables. But if you only like the deluxe tables in Zaccaria Pinball, or the deluxe tables, you're probably not going to like these. That's really all I have to say. So other than that, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And I will have separate gameplay videos for each one of these tables posted sometime in the future. Till then, see you next time. Bye.